Hey, what is up you guys? This is Eric with OzoneTCG, and today we are back with another TCG Advanced format video. Today we are taking a look at the top 5 adventure decks in the TCG Advanced format for February 2022. Before we get into the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more advanced format content. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. We're going to start off with an OzoneTCG classic, kind of what we're known for. It is Cyber's Gadget Eldlich Adventure. This deck revolves around summoning, of course, Artifact Dagda to set Artifact Scythe, and use Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer with Verde Anaconda to lock your opponent out of the extra deck. The adventure cards give this deck a new spin in that you can play around a lot of different negates using the adventure engine, such as Wandering Griffin and your adventure token. The idea is to play one-card combo Cyber's monsters, including Cyber's Gadget, Dotscaper, and Firewall Guardian, in addition to Signet Mining. These one-card combos allow you to summon your powerful Link 2s to go ahead and set up your extra deck lock. And in addition to playing those extra deck lock cards, we also play the Eldich cards for additional disruption. Really need to see 2 out of 3 of your engine cards to be able to play the game. I think this deck has a lot of room to grow in the TCG, especially because it has begun to take some kind of a small cult following already since we introduced it in the TCG. OCG had it in August of 2021, but it was once we featured it on an Ozone deck profile video in November of 2021, it really started to gain some traction. I do think this deck has a lot of potential, of course, because there are a lot of nice Cyber's cards, and really the Eldlich portion is just the worst part of the deck, quite frankly, but we can always figure out, what other engines we can play. Alrighty, on to the next one. Next we have what I think is the closest version to the adventure, a pure version of adventure that you can get with the Tenyi, Halki Firebrax, Duskbot 001, Auroradon, and some of these Sword Soul cards combo. This plays similarly to the Sword Soul Tenyi deck with Auroradon, but instead of playing, a more expansive Sword Soul lineup, you are trading those for the utility of the Tenyi cards as well as a lot of disruption to go second. This deck basically turbos into Firebrax to summon Auroradon, Auroradon to summon your Duskbot 001, and your 3 tokens to summon Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing to go into Sword Soul Taya, and then either go into Basha, the Yang Zing level 8 Synchro, or Chi Xiao to get additional disruption. You can also play some other tech cards in addition that either the Sword Soul Emergence to search either a Worm True Draco Phoenix or a True King Earth with Lithosogem. I think this deck has a lot of potential in TCG. However, the arch nemesis Protos ban did hurt it quite a bit because that was an alternate win condition, especially versus Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, and that you can call wind using it. But I still think this deck has a lot of room to grow. Alrighty, next up we have Virtual World. This deck does not use really a normal summon effect, so all your normal summons are just to start your combo, and really the adventure token engine doesn't really hamper it at all. It doesn't conflict with your engine, and Virtual World cards, the restriction does not affect adventure whatsoever because the token is level 4 and Wandering Griffin is a level 7. These are all really strong options to play because, if you start with your adventure token engine, say whether it be Aquamancer or your right, you can set up that early negation in order to ensure that your Virtual World monsters resolve properly. In addition, Aquamancer is also a level 3, which perfectly plays into the Virtual World theming of modulating between levels 3, 6, and 9. You can either special summon Aquamancer to make a Synchro, or to Exceed Summon in order to go to AA Zeus. These are all really fantastic options, and quite frankly, this deck is really, really cool in the way that it pivots. Losing Desires hurt Virtual World, but I think the Adventure Token cards definitely help that, because they are also consistency engines. You can also, just play disruptions to make sure your cards resolve rather than drawing into extra cards. Breaking is still an issue with this version, especially if you're playing Draco Steed, but that's okay. Alrighty, next up we have, of course, Prank Kids. I think this deck has a lot of potential in this format, especially because we lost, Protos and a lot of the Imperial Order, a lot of the stronger Floodgate cards, Drytron's out of the meta for the most part. But I think Prank Kids has a lot of room to grow with this deck because, again, like Virtual World, they do not have on-normal summon effects, which is the only restriction with Rite of Aaron Messir. So I think this deck has a lot of room in the metagame with adventure cards. And again, providing that disruption in the beginning to make sure your first Prank Kids monster or your polymerization resolve really does help the deck quite a bit. The only thing that hampers this, of course, is the Scythe extra deck lock. However, the adventure cards do help play into that. You know, at worst, you just fusion someone on the opponent's turn with Prank Kids Pandemonium. Yeah, I think this deck is really, really strong. We didn't see this too much over the weekend. I'm going to go ahead and show one of the top lists on the screen, though, from a different regional from the PPG event. But this deck is really, really cool. This is for current format, though. I'm excited to see what happens with the new format coming up. But stay tuned. We're also going to feature an honorable mention in the form of Albaz to get in, not to spoil too much of that. But Albaz can use the Adventure Engine because they do have branded opening. We're actually going to have a primer video on that very, very soon. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I think Prank Kids overall has a good idea. I think Prank Kids overall has a chance in the game, chance in the competitive scene in the meta with the adventure cards. And last off, as I'm sure you're all aware if you saw the PPG event this weekend, using the new ban list is Phantom Knights. This deck is incredibly strong because it turbos out Cherubini, Ebon Angel of the Burning Abyss. This card allows you to get to Aquamancer guaranteed because it sends for cost, again, unless you're under Dimension Shifter, but it allows you to get your Adventure Token Engine, and you can discard your Phantom Knights monsters in order to go ahead and go into those cards. You can also play the Artemis, the Magistus Artemis, in order to link away your Aquamancer if you start that out, your Enchantress. And yeah, being able to full combo while having that negate to play around Nibiru, to play around any kind of interruption the opponent has in order to Scythe lock your opponent. This is a very, very powerful deck. I don't think it's the best deck as people are kind of predicting. I still think it's strong, though. I think it's top 5 for sure. But we'll have a video out soon on the top 5 decks post Battle of Chaos because that set is coming out very, very soon, within the next week. Be on the lookout for that as well. But I think the Phantom Knights Adventure deck is definitely very strong. It's very good going second as well because there are a lot of toolbox utility options for the extra deck, but I think it suffers some of the blowout issues. You know, if your opponent has some kind of floodgate or a certain hand trap such as Artifact Lancia, sometimes your turns can just end on only, maybe 1 or 2 interruptions. But still think this deck is very, very strong, so keep on the lookout for it, and I would not underestimate it too much. And that was the top 5 adventure decks for the TCG Advanced format for February 2022. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This was a shorter video, just so you guys at least have some kind of information to help you guys. If you guys are looking to purchase a new deck, please be sure to use our TCG affiliate link down below in the description. And let me know what you guys think. If I missed anything, we're definitely going to take a look at more of the adventure cards. This engine provides a lot of utility for a lot of different decks that don't necessarily need to use their normal summon effect, but we can always cover those in future videos. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is Eric with OzoneTCG. I'll see you guys in the next one.